iterate and reiterate the importance of satsang and the importance of yajna and the importance of listening to the katha of our shastras, our scriptures, is, my friends, to apply it for our self-transformation and for our, what you call, self-realization, self-unfoldment. And this is why, my friends, we are in satsang day after day, night after night, throughout the length and breadth of our country, the world, etc. And when we attend satsang, remember, it is not to show our presence. You didn't come here to show Brian that you come. We didn't come here just to see the 12-foot Bhagwan Shri Ganesh Murti. We came here because of self-transformation. We came here to take one thing or something to help ourselves transform our lives. And that is the key importance of being in yajna and the key importance of being in satsang. And self-transformation or self-unfoldment means that we are discovering within ourselves, my friends, all the divinity and the divine perspective of our own existence. We are not just a physical being. We are not just a body and a mass of flesh. We are not just 5 feet, 9 inches tall, or 6 feet, or we are not just fat or thin. That's not what we are about. We are not here, my friends, to identify with the body consciousness. We are here to disidentify with the matter and the body consciousness. We are here to look deeper into our true nature. And this is why, friends, when you look at yourself in the mirror, don't say that you are handsome or beautiful. Say you are divine. See the divinity in yourself. And when we see the divine in ourselves, we'll realize, maybe not at that moment, but it will take some time to realize the divine in others. Friends, when the wave reaches the shore, the wave realizes, hey, all along I am the ocean. All along I am the water. The wave got a name, a shape, a size. The wave got a color that might be different to the depth of the ocean, but the wave is reality. In reality is water. And so the wave will only realize that, not when it is rumbling and tumbling and crushing everybody on its path or allowing people to have fun by surfing. The wave is giving fun to others as they enjoy themselves bathing. But when the wave finishes all of that, it reaches to the shore and realizes, hey, you know what? I have to go back to where I came from. And that is to the nature, which is water. And so, brothers and sisters, when we look at ourselves in the mirror, see yourself not as fear, not how the makeup is looking. Well, you can do that too. Because everybody, especially the girls, want to look beautiful. And the boys want to look handsome. And that's nothing wrong with that. When we present ourselves to the world, be beautiful as can be. Be handsome as can be. Dress yourself properly. Decorate your body. Decorate yourself. But with the twist of the mind, I am not only combing my hair in a beautiful style, like my one. I don't beat it. Done. I'm not only combing my hair in a wonderful style, I am combing the nature of my atma, my soul. Just a shift of the mind. When you are, for the girls, when you are putting your makeup, don't only look at the beauty of the makeup, but you are beautifying yourself as the pure self, the one that is functioning through the body. You know, like, how many people like to drive a dirty car? Do you like to drive a dirty car? If you don't like to drive a dirty car, come to Brian's car wash. See, I gave a little advertisement here. Come to Brian's car wash and you will get a complete detailing and your car will be spick and span. And when you sit down in your vehicle, you sit down with pride because you are driving a clean car going down the road and well armored, shining inside, outside. Like that, my friends, the car is this body that we can, interact with each other. But beyond the body, beyond the car, you see, not everybody would look at the car. Some people look at the driver of the car. Isn't it? Like if a girl driving down the road, you think the boy is looking at the car? The boy is looking at the driver in the car. So the boys will be attracted by the female driver in the car. They are fascinated by her. Well, I don't know if the same for the girls. But the point I am making is, my friends, not only fascination takes place by the body, but we are fascinated by the driver as well. And there is a driver in this body, my dear brothers and sisters, that wants to be realized. The driver in this body wants to, what you call, transcend what we talked about last night. The objects, the emotions of the mind that sends us wild. The 5 faces of Ganesh Baba that we saw last night. The Pachmukhi Ganapati. When we are able to transcend the Annamaya Kosh, the Pranamaya Kosh, the Manomaya Kosh, the Vijnanamaya Kosh, and the Anandamaya Kosh that we talked about last night, when we are able to transcend each of them, then we get into the depth of our true nature, because these 5 sheets are covering who we really are. So transformation takes place from within. That's why, my friends, the spiritual part is so important. Follow the spiritual part. Excuse me. Follow the spiritual path. And you know, it doesn't matter. And we always say this, Hinduism is so unique and Hinduism is so universal. If you are belonging to any other religion, it doesn't matter. Follow your spiritual path. That which leads you to you. That's the spiritual path. That which leads you to you is the spiritual path. Like one guy was there. He was an alcoholic, so he wanted to be transformed. So the brothers and sisters came down on him. The Dullahin gave him a few and told him, he say, you know, this drinking every day, you have to change your life. So she organized with the clergyman at the church, and they organized for him to go to the church. And when he went to the church, he sat down and praised the Lord, and he clapped and he sang and he danced and everything. And then the clergyman, the pastor, called him and he said, come here, you. So he went up. He said, today you have to, your life is transformed. He said, yes, pastor, my life is transformed. He said, no, I am going to baptize you. So he organized a tub of water quickly, because he's getting him to listen, you know. So when you're getting somebody to listen, you fix them up fast. So he got the tub of water, and he held him by the head, and in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, dip him in the water 3 times. And the guy came out, he took the towel and he wiped his head, and pastor looked at him and he said, James, you are now baptized. Your new name is now Jacob. Jacob will not drink alcohol. James did. Jacob will not drink alcohol. Jacob will not disrespect the family. Jacob will save, not James. You are now Jacob. He said, yes, Father. Left home, left the church and went home. He went to the refrigerator. He went to the pantry, and he took up all the bottles, and he went to the sink. He filled the sink with water. He took up the first bottle of alcohol. I think it's, and he filled the sink, and he put the bottle inside. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, you, alcohol, is now fruit juice. He didn't open it and empty it out. So I baptize you. You are now fruit juice. Now you see, this guy didn't want to be transformed. You can baptize him. You can initiate him. You can send him to pilgrimage. You can do whatever you want. If he doesn't want to transform himself, the poor guy will not, my friends. You see, devotees of God, self-transformation is a self-initiation, where you initiate yourself onto the spiritual path, and you decide to follow the discipline that Bhagwan Ganesh has taught us, my dear brothers and sisters, in the process of transcending, the 5 koshas. And when we are able to discover our nature, then, only when we are able to discover our nature, then we'll realize something very, very important. And what that is, the Upanishad says, Tvameva pratyaksham tattvamasi, Tvameva kevalam kartasi, Tvameva kevalam dartasi, Tvameva kevalam hartasi, Tvameva pratyaksham, Tvameva sarvam kalvidam brahmasi, Tvam sakshat atmasi nityam, ritam vachmi, satyam vachmi, avatvamam, avavaktaram, avashrotaram, avadataram, avadhataram, avanuchanam, avashishyam, avapashchatat, avottaratat, avapurastat, avadakshinatat, avachordvatat, avadharatat, sarvatomam pahi pahi samantvat, samantat, Tvam vangmayastvam chinmayah, Tvam anandamayastvam brahmamayah, Tvam satchidananda dvitiyosi, Tvam pratyaksham brahmasi, Tvam jnanamayo vijnanamayosi. Just 3 verses of the Ganapati Atharva Upanishad that describes and tells, my dear brothers and sisters, that when we are able to discover ourselves, and I want everyone to remember this point, friends, you are dealing with yourself on the spiritual path. And what does it mean? O Ganesh Baba, Tvameva, Tvam, meaning you, Eva, alone, Tvam Eva Pratyaksham Tattvamasi, you are that thou art. Tattvam Asi. My friends, one of the Mahavakya, there are several Mahavakyas. One is Tattvam Asi, the other one is Aham Brahmasmi. I am Brahman. I am Brahman. I am Aham Brahmasmi, meaning I am the Supreme Brahman. And in the simple verse that we chant with the Ashirvad that gives blessings, it says, Chidanandarupaha Shivoham Shivoham Chidanandarupaha Shivoham Shivoham. You know what you are saying? You are saying in that mantra, Chidanandarupaha Shivoham Shivoham. I am Shiva. I am Shiva. I am of the nature of Sat, Chit, Ananda. And when we look at Bhagwan Ganesh, and the Upanishad is saying, Tvameva Pratyaksham Tattvamasi, that Tattvamasi is Sachidananda Swarupa. Of the nature of Sat, Chit, consciousness, truth, consciousness, and bliss. So that is the nature. So that thou art, Tattvam Asi, meaning I am that. I am that Shiva. I am that consciousness. I am that Brahman. My friends, in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan Krishna says, Om iti aksharam brahma. Om is the supreme Brahman. And Om, my dear brothers and sisters, is the sound symbol in Hinduism that represents the unmanifest state of you and I. And this is why in the Holy Bible, it is said, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Bible is referring to the words of the Holy Bible. But in the Upanishad, that word is Om. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. And in the 14th verse of the book of St. John, in the Holy Bible it is said, and the Word became flesh. Which word can become flesh? Friends, which word can manifest into a being? That the only thing that can happen is Om, which is the unmanifest state of God that manifests in the form of the different various forms. So that thou art, Tattvam Asi, I am that. So in other words, when you look at yourself, my friends, do not see yourself as a physical entity. See yourself as a divine entity. See yourself as a divine being. That is what human beings are supposed to do, because we are not just human beings. We are divine beings having a human experience. That is what we are. That's the meaning of Tattvamasi. So, Tvameva Pratyaksham Tattvamasi, Tvameva Kevalam Kartasi. The word karta comes from karna. Karna means what? The doer. Doer means what? The one who is doing the actions. And who is doing the action? Who is doing the action in us? Who is talking to you right now? Not Pundit Abhedanand. This is only a body sitting in front of you, and the one who is talking is the one you can't see. The one who is talking is using this instrument to communicate with you the philosophy of the scriptures. So my dear brothers and sisters, even when the devotees, Gyanji and others were singing on the stage, the body is operating. You are seeing that this person is singing. You are hearing this person talking. But beyond that, beyond this body, there is someone who is functioning. And just like it is the same for him, for me, and for all on stage, it is the same for you. Whatever actions we perform, when it is said, Tvameva kevalam kartasi. Lord, you are the karta, you are the doer. And friends, you know what's the sad thing? The sad thing is, we claim that we can do things. Now, in motivational speaking, and when we want to inspire ourselves, like, like the children who just received their results and stuff, and they did well, you compliment them. It's good to compliment the kids that they work hard, and yes, they receive their distinctions and their passes, and yes, compliments are what you call accepted. But, and the big but is, while we are being complimented for what we do, in our minds, know that nothing happens without the will of Shri Ganesh. Nothing happens without the will of Bhagwan. And therefore, friends, if we are able to accept this, and not really accept, but realize this, then we will all be freed from the karma phala, because I am not doing, Lord, you are using this to do. Like the driver using the car, God forbid. The driver using the car, and God forbid, gets into an accident. Does the car fix itself? Or the driver has to dip in his pocket and repair the car? The driver has to do it, because the car does not perform action by itself. The person in the car has to do the action for the car. The car will not even move without the driver. Like that, friends, you and I cannot move without the driver, the pure consciousness that you and I call the Atma, that we call Shiva, we call Ganesh, we call Devi Ma, we call Shakti. That pure consciousness that is Om in us is what we are referring to. And therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, the Upanishad is lifting us to a different level when we perceive Bhagwan Ganesh and when we celebrate Ganesh Utsav. The physical must be transcended. And that is why, friends, Bhagwan Shiva would sit in that transcendental posture. That's why Bhagwan Krishna mentions several places in Bhagavad Gita about the transcendental nature of the mind, the transcendental nature of the Atma, the soul. So when we are able to take Ganesh Utsav, the celebration of Ganesh Ji, and transform ourselves, not superficially like James, who became Jacob, not superficially, it must be a genuine task. Then, friends, it will be like Lord Shiva. As it is said, Namo Mahadeva Shambho, Namo Sada Shiva, Jai Parameshwara, Jai Bhuvaneshwara, Jai Shiva Shankara. Namo Mahadeva Shambho, Namo Sada Shiva, Jai Parameshwara, Jai Bhuvaneshwara, Jai Shiva Shankara. Shankar, Uma Maheshwar, Girija Shankar. शिव शंकर नमो महादेव शंभो नमो सदा शिव
जय परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर
नमो महादेव शंभो नमो सदा शिव
जय परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर
हर हर महादेव गौरी मनोहर हर शिव शंकर हर हर महादेव गौरी शंकर हर शिव शंकर दुख हर लेकर सुख कर लेकर जय शिव शंकर बोलो नमो महादेव शंभो नमो सदा शिव
जय परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर
जय शिव शंकर पार्वती शंकर गंगा जटाधर करुणा शंकर पार्वती शंकर गंगा जटाधर करुणा शंकर नीलकंठ धर अखिलेश्वर धर जय शिव शंकर नमो महादेव शंभो नमो सदा शिव
जय परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर
नमो महादेव शंभो नमो सदा शिव जय परमेश्वर
जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर
जय शिव शंकर नटराज सुंदर हर शिव शंकर जय शिव शंकर नटराज सुंदर हर शिव शंकर जय डमरूवर जय कैलेश्वर जय शिव शंकर नमो महादेव शंभो नमो सदा शिव जय परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर नमो महादेव शंभो नमो सदा शिव जय परमेश्वर जय भुवनेश्वर जय शिव शंकर So, this is why, my friends, when you and I are able to transcend even the karma that we are doing, the actions we are doing, we become free from the karma phala. That's why Bhagavan Krishna says in chapter 3 of the Bhagavad Gita, He says, Karmanye vadikaraste mam phaleshu kadachana. Mam phaleshu, offer the fruits of your action to me, because I am the doer in you, the Lord says. So, when we compliment someone in our minds, we must know, friends, that yes, it's an achievement, but at the same time, it is the Lord's grace that blessed me with that achievement. And we should not get carried away and, allow the ego to rise. When we think that we are doing, we become egoistic. Isn't it? When you feel that you are doing something and you achieve something in life, doesn't that bring about ego in some cases for some people? Friends, what we have to get rid of is this ahankar, this ego, that is born from the achievement that we have in this world. Is achievements good? Is it good to achieve things in life? Yes or no? Duh. If we don't achieve anything in life, then where's the use living? We have to achieve. But do not allow your achievements to make the ego boosted. That is where problems will begin in our lives, friends. That's why, they say power is a dangerous thing. Power is a dangerous thing. Presidential power, political power, financial power, educational power can be dangerous. That's why Shri Gandhi ji, he said that education without character is dangerous. Friends, how come we have more educated people today than 55 years ago? More educated people today than 55 years ago. I think probably now in our home, in every home in our country has a degree. Isn't it? Everybody has a degree. Everybody have their children studying and they themselves studying. People don't, not because of their age, they stop studying. They study even when you are becoming older also. Because the opportunities are there. And how come we have more degrees and we have more educated people and less happiness? If degrees used to bring happiness, friends, everybody would be happy. Education brings money. Education brings a good job, and that job gives you money. And a job can help you to buy a house. A job can help you buy nice clothes. A job could help you to buy a diamond ring. And when you flash that diamond ring and you say, will you marry me? Oh, Bhagwan. Her heart will melt and said, yes, hon, I will marry you. One wife asked the husband, she said, can I ask you something? He said, love, anything. When I die, will you remarry? He said, no. You crazy? How can I remarry when you die? She said, but you're going to be lonely, man. I think you should get married. He said, okay. Just for your sake, I'll get married. So the wife said, but when you get married, will you allow your new wife to sleep on my bed? He said, no. He said, I'll go buy a new bed. She will come in this room, next room. He said, why think I build a big house? But even in the next room, when you get married again, will she use my clothes? He said, no, babe. He said, I'll go buy new clothes for she. But what about my car? Will she drive my car? He said, no, I will not allow her to use your car. Because your car reminds me of you. And I love you so much. So I will not allow her to drive your car. But can I ask you something more? He said, yes. But look at my closet. It has 7 shelves, and each shelf has 10 pairs of shoes. will you allow her to wear my shoes? He said, no, love. Your foot is 7 and she is 9. Om Namah Shivaya. That fellow didn't live to say our next word. You see, where we find ourselves in trouble? Namo Mahadeva Shambho. My friends, so therefore, the scripture is saying that when we perceive ourselves from a divine perspective, we will have divine qualities. And divine qualities means, my friends, our character is supposed to be impeccable. That is the purpose of living a divine life. That is the purpose of living a spiritual life. So, Tvameva kevalam kartasi, Tvameva kevalam dhartasi, Tvameva kevalam hartasi, Tvameva sarvam kalvidam brahmasi. O Ganesh Baba, you alone is the doer, the karta. You alone are the creator and the sustainer of this universe. You alone are the creator and the sustainer of this universe. And friends, especially for the young people to understand tonight, I don't want you to be confused. It is said, Lord Brahma is who? Brahma is the creator, right? Lord Vishnu is sustainer, and Lord Shiva is well, not the destroyer. He don't destroy, but he reabsorbs. So he don't destroy the world, but he reabsorbs the world, meaning it goes back into him. So here it is said now to Lord Ganesh, Tvameva kevalam dhartasi. Lord, you are the creator, and you are the sustainer, and you are the reabsorber of this world, O Ganesh Baba. So isn't there a contradiction? If Lord Brahma is supposed to be the creator, how come the Upanishad is saying, Ganeshji, you are? Lord Vishnu is supposed to be the preserver, but we are saying Lord Ganesh here tonight, sustainer, and then the reabsorber is supposed to be the father of Ganesh, which is Bhagwan Shiva. But the Upanishad is declaring tonight that Lord Ganesh is the creator, the preserver or sustainer, and the reabsorber. So when somebody reads this, might be a Hindu or non-Hindu, they can be confused because they can say, how come Brahma is the creator, Lord Vishnu the preserver, and Lord Shiva the reabsorber, and now the Upanishad saying Lord Ganesh do that? Because, my friends, we live, our scriptures, our Upanishads gives us a Advaita philosophy. Advaita philosophy means non-dual. Non-dual means what? Everything and every manifestation is one and the same. This morning I was doing puja at someone's home, and we were offering in the fire and offering oblations. And we say, think of Lord Ganesh, and think of Devi Ma, and think of Lord Krishna, and think of Bhagwan Shiva, and think of, at the end of it all, Om Gam Ganapate Namah Swaha, Om Sarvadevi Sarvadevtai Namah Swaha, Om Sarvadevi, meaning all the Devis and all the Devtas. And then I told the family, I said, think of all the Devis and Devtas. Brian, how are you doing that? Remember, you only have 5 seconds. By the time the Baba says Sarva Devi, Sarva Devta is Swaha, So in that 5 seconds, how many Devtas you can think of? Sarva Devi means all the Devis, and Sarva Devta means all the Devtas. How are you doing that? Can't do that. So if you go to chant, Lord Ganesh alone have 1,000 names, and Devi Ma alone have 1,008 names, and all the Devtas have different forms, and there are thousands and thousands of forms. How are we thinking of all those Devis and Devtas? Kim? Salim ji? Say it loud. See what Salim says? Salim says, if he is told to think of all the Devis and Devtas, he will think of Lord Shiva. And let's give him a round of applause. They might like what you say. See, you're halfway, so. Give the boy a good round of applause now. Sarva Devi, Sarva Devta. In Shiva, all the Devis and all the Devatas are there. In Krishna, all the Devis and Devatas are there. But this morning, I told the family, I said, when you are told to think of all the Devis and Devatas, think of Vishwarup Darshan. Vishwarup meaning where Bhagwan Krishna stood on the battlefield and he gave Arjuna Vishwarup Darshan. In that, the entire universe with all the Devis and Devatas, the 9 planets, the 27 nakshatras, the mountains, the lakes, the rivers, everything is in that one Vishwarup Darshan. That is why Arjuna could not comprehend that form of Bhagwan Krishna on the battlefield. And he said, Lord, you are showing me this form, but please withdraw that form. I cannot stand it anymore. I cannot tolerate, I cannot conceive it. I cannot perceive that form of yours. I am not ready to perceive that form. Now, in Advaita philosophy, there is, when it is said, Lord, you are the preserver, the creator, and the reabsorber, O Ganesh Ji. That is what we are talking about. The oneness in the multitude. Or in the multitude, there is oneness. So, devotees of God, and for all our Hindu youngsters and, youths, remember this principle. God is not really thousands in numbers. He has different manifestations. The government is one. But there are different ministers. There are different ministries like that. But there is one prime minister. So the one prime minister represents the government. So in the terms of ministries, there are many ministries. You have Akash Devta, God of space. You have Vayu Devta, God of wind. You have Agni Devta, God of fire. They are all various manifestations of the Devtas. You have goddess of knowledge, Mother Saraswati. You have goddess of what you call protection and destruction, the divine Mother Durga Devi, destroying the demon Mahisasur. You have the goddess of wealth and prosperity. All these various forms are really one Shakti, one incarnation, come from one Vishwarup Darshan. So therefore, when it is said in this one line, Tvameva Kevalam Dhartasi, Tvameva Kevalam Hartasi, Tvameva Sarvam Kalvidam. You are that one Supreme Being who are not just the creator, the preserver and reabsorber, Ganeshi, but you are Sarvam Kalvidam Brahmasi. You are everything. O Ganeshi, you are everything. O Ganesh Baba, as we bow to you as the creator, the preserver and reabsorber, friends, remember this principle. If you are Ganesh devotee, he is everything to you. If you are Krishna devotee, he is everything to you. If you are Shiva devotee, he is everything to you. If you are Shakti Ma devotee, she is everything to you. Have that principle. And once we understand that principle, the Upanishad is saying, Nishadin Namo Ganapati Charan. We'll be able to surrender at the feet of Shri Ganesh. Nishadin Namo Ganapati Charan. Nishadin Namo Ganapati Charan. Ganapati Charan Jagadutaharan. Ganapati Charan Jagadutaharan. Nishadin Namo Ganapati Charan. Nishadin Namo Ganapati Charan. संताप सब मन के हरे मंगल सदा गणपति करे संताप मन के हरे मंगल सदा गणपति करे मन कर रहा प्रातः स्मरण मन कर निषदिन नमो गणपति चरण गणपति चरण जग दुख हरण गणपति चरण जग दुख हरण निषदिन नमो गणपति चरण निषदिन नमो गणपति चरण बलबुद्धि के तुम देवता पर भक्ति हृदय सेवता बलबुद्धि के तुम देवता पर भक्ति हृदय सेवता शंकर सुवन कारण तरण शंकर सुवन तारण तरण निषदिन नमो गणपति चरण निषदिन नमो गणपति चरण गणपति चरण जग दुख हरण गणपति चरण जग दुख हरण निषदिन नमो गणपति चरण निषदिन नमो गणपति चरण तुम्हारी कृपा पे अंत है दोनों पे तू दयावंत है तुम्हारी कृपा पे अंत है दोनों पे तू दयावंत है हम आ गया तेरी शरण हम आ गया तेरी शरण निषदिन नमो गणपति चरण निषदिन नमो गणपति गणपति चरण जग दुख हरण गणपति चरण जग दुख हरण गणपति नमो गणपति चरण निषदिन नमो गणपति चरण निषदिन नमो गणपति चरण निषदिन नमो गणपति चरण Understanding this principle, friends, of the Advaita philosophy, the non-dual that was given by Sri Shankaracharya ji to mankind to bring back their mind to this principle of oneness. And this principle of oneness means, my friends, I'm telling you my poor stance. The principle of oneness means what? That in one there is everything, and in everything there is one. That is why from the altar of Hinduism, my friends, if we understand this, Bhagwan Ganesh is in our intellect tonight. It is said, Balabudhi ke tum devata. Lord, you are in my buddhi. You are the one seated on my intellect. And if I understand the principle of what is being spoken of tonight, Lord, then I will understand the oneness in the many, and the many in the oneness. That's why a Hindu person or any person who has this knowledge should not criticize, condemn, find faults. Because, friends, we are too pure to do that. And when I say we, every one of us are so pure that we will be contaminating ourselves by thinking along the negative lines. But then when you get up in the morning and you face the world, forget the world, when you face the boss, right away, Jai Bhagwan, Janjat start. Or you're working in an institution and your own colleagues are backstabbing you. Baba, how can you talk about seeing God in that person? How can you talk about oneness when these people are so negative towards me? I supposed to get promotion so long ago, but my own colleagues are backstabbing me. Forget the colleague and forget the work. Baba, right in my own home. If I only watch across the fence, my brother asks me, am I watching? See how corrupted, my friends, we become when there is duality. To prove the singleness and the single-pointedness of the oneness, one day, Bhagwan Ganesh he went outside, and he saw a little cat. And when he saw the cat, he called the cat. The cat didn't come. She looked at him, and she turned away. And Bhagwan Ganesh, he ran towards the cat. He grabbed her, and he looked at her as if to say, hey, and I was calling you. Look now, you try to run and I catch you. So he took the little cat and he started rolling her on the ground. Rolling her on the ground. And then he started pulling the little hairs on her body, the little fur on her body. And hit her a few slaps and took some dirt and threw it on top of her. The next time I call you, come. So by this time the cat is trembling and she is frightened. She wants to run away. But he is holding her by the tail. And holding the tail and she is pulling forward. So naturally the tail in pain. And she now is complaining, and Ganesh Baba is not listening. As she tried to go, he pulled her back by the tail. Try to go. Pulling her like that. Poor little cat. And when he was fed up hurting her and scraping her up and stuff, he let her go. By this time, he tired. So he ran inside. Ma, oh ma, ha beta, main yahan hu. Please come. I am right here, the mother said. So he ran, and he jumped on the mother's lap, and he wanted to be cuddled now. So she held him, and she cuddling him. And then, like holding your child, and you're cuddling them, and suddenly they look at you in your eyes. That feeling is out of this world, When you hold your baby, and they're looking at you in your eyes, and you looking at them, and you feel as though, hey, wow, I can't imagine the love that you feel. But when Ganesh Baba looked at his mother in her eyes, he jumped back. Ma, what happened? She bent her head and she wiped her tears. Ma, why are you crying? Just tell me who hurt you, Ma. I am going to deal with that person right now. And the mother, she said, son, you did that. Ma, I never hurt you. He said, son, and you remember you took some dirt and you just threw it on top of me and you pull all the hair on my body. Look at my skin is red. And then you pull my hair and then you were angry at me. And I was trying to run away, and you were holding me and pulling me back. Ma, I did that to the cat, not you. Mother said, son, I am the cat. My Shakti is in the cat. And when you hurt the cat, I was feeling the pain, beta. Oneness. When you hurt that creature, I was being hurt, son. And therefore, you thought that you were not doing me anything. But you were doing. You thought that you were hurting the cat. But in reality, you were hurting me. That is Advaita philosophy. Where the creation is many, but the principle is one. So, therefore, Ganeshji is also the creator, the preserver, and the reabsorber. Another way to look at it, my friends, in Brahmaji, who is creating the universe, Ganesh is there creating in him. Because let us ask ourselves a question. Some people have creative minds. Who is the creator in your mind? Who is the one who is creative in your mind? Who is the one that is creative in our mind? Friends, the principle of God who is the creator. Who is the preserver, the one who preserve what we have created, the principle of the creative power in us. So this is what, my friends, the wisdom that Ganesh Baba represents, and we spoke about a couple nights, that wisdom is what we have to identify with. And you know, when, like for example, now is Ganesh Utsav, everybody, the festivities of Ganesh is so rampant, everybody chanting and glorifying Bhagwan Ganapati. What about when Pitr Paksh start? Who are you glorifying? Now, the same principle of Ganapati has now been converted into Krishna consciousness. So during the Pitr Paksh, what do you worship? You're worshipping God as usual. If you want to get up in the morning and light your diya and make your offerings in your mandir and you offer your chandan, offer it to all the devis and devatas if you have to. But the principle is Krishna. And when you worship Krishna during the Pitr Paksh period, the ancestors receive that offering. So you see, what we have to understand is, like some people will often ask the question, you know, for Ganesh Utsav, I was fasting and stuff and doing devotion. When Pitr Paksh time come, Baba, what to do? I know I have to stop praying because zombie coming out. You see? I know I have to stop praying now because it's not zombie, friends. It's Krishna, who is the Atma that we are remembering in our ancestors. So you don't stop. And then when Pitr Paksh finish, then what starts? Navratri. So the same principle now, we shift our attention, but now to the same God and the same goddess, but the principle is Shakti, Ma, Navratri. And friends, if this is clear, and if this is understood tonight, then we will understand the meaning that in one there are many, and in the many there is one. And this is the direction we have to go spiritually. And this is the direction that we have to elevate ourselves on the spiritual path. Therefore, when we now, friends, the result of that, the karma phala of that, when we are able to acknowledge and experience that oneness and divinity in everyone, wherever you go and wherever we go, we will be going like a supercharged energy of positive vibration. You'll be carrying that with you wherever you go. And when we are able to carry that along with us, my friends, in the fire of that oneness, all the janjat and all the confusion and all the negativities of our lives will become what you call eradicated. When we understand this principle, my friends, we will not misunderstand the divinity. And when we do not understand the divinity, the basic instructions, people become confused. When you buy a pack of Panadol, what's the first thing you read? Instructions. When you go to the grocery store and you buy detergent, what do you read? Well, Baba, we're so experienced in that, we don't have to read, sir. We know how to use it. So you don't read that. But when you buy, let us say, for example, medication, or let us say a guy painting a car, he will look at the paint, he will read the instructions and know how to apply the paint. Instructions must be understood. Then we can elevate ourselves. And finally tonight, friends, if we understand this and understood this tonight, we would elevate ourselves, my dear brothers and sisters, completely. Salim, one lady was there, and she went to the paint store and she bought a gallon of paint, and she was painting over her living room. The husband went to work, kids went to school, and hot summer, place hot. The house had no air condition. She going to paint. Or maybe even if it had air condition, it was off. So, because she's going to paint and the fumes will, thing in the house. So, she bought the paint, she put it down. And she started painting the room. Around 3 o'clock in the evening, the husband come home. When the husband came home, he saw his wife painting, and she have on a coat, a winter coat. She have on a next coat on top that coat, and she painting, and she's sweating. The husband asked her, he said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Well, I can't see, I'm painting." She said, but what happened to the coat? Why put on 2 coats? She said, take up the can and read. For best result, put on 2 coats. Jai Narayan, Jai Ganesh. For best result, put on 2 coats. Are Baba, you will die. Put on 2 coats in the world. Don't put on 2 coats to apply the coat. My friends, with this tonight I conclude. When we understand the instructions, everything will be peaceful and comfortable and happy. If we don't understand it, then we will be like that lady with a few coats on. And as I conclude, let me ask Kim to do a bhajan for us. Kimberly and Kavita is here. We are also indeed very grateful to Gyanji. I know Gyanji is a very, very busy guy. So he's all over. And I'm sure for this Ganesh Utsav, he had no rest so far. But he is with us tonight, sang beautiful bhajan earlier. And we want to thank you, Gyanji, for gracing us with your wonderful presence.